Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. It's that time of the weekend. It's Premier League predictions time after what has been a very long and tedious international break. We are on the verge of returning and resuming the season that, of course, left us wanting more with only 3 games played before the first international break of the new campaign. Fortunately, though, in a couple of days' time, the Premier League football does resume once again with some huge fixtures that await us this weekend. But before we get into all of the talking, analysing, and, of course, predicting, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things always are very greatly appreciated. Get involved in that comment section. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, but most of all, of course, your predictions. This is a predictions video after all, people, so please do get involved down there. Use and abuse that section with all of those. Right, now that that's out of the way and done with, let's get into the predictions, and we're starting with the game that is going to kick off the weekend. The lunchtime kickoff on Saturday between Southampton and Manchester United, and I've gone with a 2-1 win to Manchester United for this one. Look, United will obviously want to bounce back. It's been a very, very long international break for United fans. Longer than most, given the fact that last time they were in action, they were losing to their fierce rivals Liverpool by a humiliating way by 3-0. So they want to set the record straight. They want to fight back. This is where their season properly kicks off, you would imagine. They've got a few decent games on the horizon, and this is the beginning of it. You would imagine that Southampton, having not picked up a win so far during their return to England's top flight division, may be a more fortuitous and favourable game for them. However, nothing is ever a dead cert, especially when it comes to this Manchester United side. I've gone with United to win because I think they have the individuals and the match winners in the team to get it done, but I don't think it'll be entirely convincing. If anything, I feel like it may be similar to the Fulham game at the beginning of the season, where United are the better team. United do deserve to win, but Southampton will have their chances. And if Southampton are on form, they can pose some food for thought for this United side. But I think with the likes of Bruno Fernandes in particular, pulling the strings, I think United will get the chances, and with the quality that they have, the better quality that they have over Southampton, I think their match winners will just about give them the edge in this one, which is why I have gone 2-1 to United. Next up, we're moving on to the Amex Stadium, where Brighton will be hosting Ipswich, and I've gone with a 3-0 and very convincing victory in favour of the Seagulls. Now, I expect this to be a battle. I expect this to be not exactly one-way traffic and convincing as the scoreline may suggest, because as we know, Ipswich have fought and battled for everything so far this campaign, and they did pick up a point before the international break. But I just think Brighton will just have enough about them to, over the course of 90 minutes, make it seem more convincing than what it may be. Brighton have the better quality, there's no doubt about it. Brighton have the better footballing ability, there's no doubt about it. And I think over the course of 90 minutes, whether it be that ability, that talent, that quality, that strength and depth, it will be enough to overpower this Ipswich side. And I think with the chances that they will create, I think with the way that Ipswich play, it might play more into Brighton's hands. And I think with the way that they somewhat run out of steam towards the end of certain games at times, I think Brighton will get the job done and maintain their unbeaten start to the brand new campaign. 3-0 Brighton is what I'm going for here. Next up, Crystal Palace taking on Leicester City at Selhurst Park, and I have gone with a 2-1 win to Crystal Palace. I think they'll finally get their season properly underway. I think they'll finally get a victory that they've been wanting and craving. They picked up a point before the international break against Chelsea. I think they can really do a number on Leicester here. I don't think, it will be all convincing. I think Leicester will obviously pose a big threat on the counter-attack of Crystal Palace. But I think with the likes of Eze and Mateta in particular, I think they will be able to create some chances, carve open this Leicester City side, and it's all about taking them. It's going to be big, this one. It's obviously going to be huge between these two sides who haven't exactly started the season off in the best of ways. Leicester, of course, lost last time out. I've only picked up 1 point this season. So it's going to be huge on both of their parts to obviously... I'm not expecting a Premier League classic, is I guess what I'm trying to say here. But yes, Palace to win 2-1 is my prediction for this game. Next up, we're moving on to Fulham against West Ham in a London derby of sorts at Craven Cottage. And I've gone with a 2-1 win in favour of the away side. Now, I was having difficulty predicting this one, mainly because of the unpredictable nature of Fulham. When they turn up, they can be really, really good. But when they are disappointing, they are very, very disappointing. In the middle, they can be a bit hit and miss, of course. I really don't know. I know it sounds dumb of me saying that now that I've just said it out loud. But at the same time, I don't know what to expect from this Fulham side. I think from West Ham, they can lick their wounds from their previous game against Manchester City. Not many teams are going to obviously pick up points against City. West Ham found it tough on that day, but now they can see a more favourable fixture, with all due respect to Fulham, on the horizon this weekend. And that's why I think West Ham will get more joy out of this one. And I think they have the players to do that. I think they have the likes of Lucas Paqueta, Mohamed Kudus, Jared Bowen, that will obviously be constant threats to that Fulham back line. And I think when you compare the two sides, I think in attack, West Ham will just have the edge over Fulham in that aspect. So that's why I've gone with a West Ham win here. Moving on to Anfield next, and it's Liverpool taking on Nottingham Forest, a Premier League classic of sorts. Well, an English top flight division classic of sorts, shall we say, more than a Premier League one. But even so, still a classic nonetheless, and I've gone with a 2-0 win in favour of Liverpool. And not only am I predicting Liverpool to maintain their perfect start to the season, making it 4 wins out of 4, I'm also expecting them to make it 4 clean sheets out of 4 as well. The only Premier League side not to concede a goal so far this season, will be still riding high off of their 3-0 victory over Manchester United last time out, whilst Forest have actually started the season off pretty well. Still unbeaten, 5 points from a possible 9. They've done alright so far. They've done really alright so far. And I'm anticipating a tough game. I think the home crowd will get Liverpool over the line. The international break can be a bit of a momentum killer, with all due respect. So I'm not expecting maybe both sides to be at their sharpest. But in saying that, I still think Liverpool will get the job done. I still think they have the qualities, especially in the final third, to score the goals that they need to get over the line. I think they have the quality defensively to kind of keep Nottingham Forest quiet for the most part. Forest will have chances. They will have opportunities. Of course they will. But it's about whether or not they can take them or not. And I feel like Liverpool defensively, and of course with the best goalkeeper in the world, in my opinion, in goal, they will be able to neutralise Forest for the most part. And that is why I think Liverpool will maintain their perfect start, win this game, get a 4th clean sheet under their belt, and maintain perfection so far in this season. Fingers crossed on that one. Moving on, Manchester City against Brentford, and I've gone with a 3-1 win to Man City in this one. Now, Brentford have been a bit of a thorn in the side of Manchester City over the past few years since their return to the top flight division. But I think that with the way that City are performing right now, with how informed they are, I can't see anything other than a City win, unfortunately. I'd love to say that Brentford will shock City, and I'd love to say that Brentford will pick up a win, but I just don't, unfortunately, see it. Even with Brian and Bramo getting 2 goals last time out, I just don't see Brentford having enough to really trouble City in terms of taking points off them. If anything, I think Brentford will give them a minor scare. They probably will either take the lead or they'll equalise at 1-1 before City go on and win this game. I think they just have too much for them in all areas, and especially with the form that Erling Haaland is showing in the very early stages of this season, it's hard to really back against both City winning this game and, of course, Haaland not adding to his already impressive goal-scoring account from the opening 3 games of the brand new campaign. City to win, maintain their perfect start to the season as well, but yes, it's going to be probably a tough afternoon for Brentford in this capacity. Next up, moving on to one of Saturday's evening encounters. We're at Villa Park for Aston Villa taking on Everton, and I've gone with a 2-1 win in favour of the Villains. Now, I think Everton have had a shocking, I know Everton have had a shocking start to their season. 3 losses out of 3, and a dreadful collapse last time out against Bournemouth that saw them lose a 2-goal lead with 5 minutes of normal time remaining to lose 3-2. They need to turn things around and turn things around fast. Hopefully the international break has come at the perfect time for them to regroup, go back to the drawing board, so to speak. But their games don't exactly get any easier as Villa are waiting for them this weekend. I've gone with a 2-1 win to Villa. I just think in the attacking third they'll have more about them, and I think they'll be able to create the chances and take them that Everton might not be able to. Everton will have their opportunity on the counter-attack and obviously from set pieces, but with ex-Toffee midfielder Amadou Onana in the midfield of Villa as well, I'd expect them to have a big say as well in determining the outcome of this one, and I think it will go to Unai Emery's side. So, with that being said, I have gone with a 2-1 win in favour of Villa. The next evening encounter will see the Cherries take on the Blues as Bournemouth clash with Chelsea. I didn't really know which one to predict. Once again, Chelsea games are going to be difficult to predict this season, and they come up against a difficult Bournemouth side who are a bit of a thorn in the side of most teams, particularly over the course of Andoni Iraola's role and reign as Bournemouth manager. So I don't really know which way to call this, in all honesty. So I'll call it down the middle. I've gone with a 1-1 draw, but this really could go any which way. Bournemouth, tough opposition. Chelsea on their day, we know can be really, really good. We've already seen it already this season when they face Wolves. Bournemouth, just going about their business. 2 draws and a win so far this campaign. We saw the incredible fight back that they produced against Everton. Going about their business worked very well so far. So this is going to be an interesting test between these two sides, and one that I think, again, the international break could be a bit awkward for both of them to kind of refine their rhythm a little bit, but it could be a very intriguing encounter for our Saturday evening fixture. Like I say, I've gone with 1-1, but I'm not entirely confident. But what I am expecting is a decent game of football between these two sides. Chances at both ends. It's all about who's going to take the most, though. Personally, I think they'll cancel each other out. Moving on to Sunday's games, I'm going to jump a little bit ahead to the 4 o'clock, or 4:30 kickoff, shall we say, in Wolves against Newcastle. And I've gone with a 2-0 win in favour of the Magpies here. Wolves have started the season off pretty poorly. They picked up a point last time out against Nottingham Forest. Very good point, but at the end of the day, probably not enough from their opening 3 games. They come up against a Newcastle side who beat Tottenham in their last encounter. Wasn't exactly the best of performances from Eddie Howe's side, but it maintains their decent start to the new campaign. And I see that start continuing here. I think they have enough about them to get the job done, to get over the line. I think defensively they'll be able to neutralise some of Wolves' threats. It's all about for Wolves taking their chances, and I do feel like they're a bit hit and miss in that area, as they have been for a number of years now. And as for Newcastle, I think they'll have enough about them defensively to keep Wolves out, but also going forward, I think they'll pose a threat. Again, the international break can be a bit of a momentum killer, but at the same time, I still think Newcastle will be able to create plenty of opportunities that eventually they will take, whether it be through the likes of Alexander Isak, who I think could be a big Premier League fantasy football choice this weekend, or whoever else they may see fit. Anthony Gordon, Harvey Barnes, for example, who have both started the season off pretty well as well. So I see Newcastle winning this one. I've gone with a 2-0 win in favour of the Magpies. Big opportunity here for Eddie Howe's side to keep their good start to the season well up and running. And finally, in what I believe to be the biggest game of this round of fixtures, the highlight, the main event of this upcoming round of Premier League fixtures this weekend, it is the North London derby at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It is Tottenham against Arsenal. It is Ange Postecoglou against Mikel Arteta, and I have gone with a 1-1 draw here. Now, if I am to pick a side, I am going to go with Arsenal. I think despite the injury concerns, I would probably still lean more towards Arsenal winning this one than Tottenham. I know there's no Mikel Merino. I know there's no Calafiori. I know there's no Tomiyasu. I know there's no Martin Odegaard. I know there's no Declan Rice. But even so, I would still probably lean more towards Arsenal than Spurs. So why have I gone with a draw? Well, the fact is, I've gone with a draw because even with all of those absences, I think Spurs, the pressure shifts more on Spurs, admittedly. However, I just think Spurs will be able to get something from this. I just have a sneaky feeling that Spurs will still get something from this. I still want to lean more towards Arsenal, but my gut is telling me that in this kind of fixture, with the intensity, turning up a few notches for a North London derby, especially with being in Tottenham's backyard as well, I just think Spurs will be able to claw and snatch something from this game. It's going to be tough on Arsenal. Well, tough on both sides, really. But this is going to be a massive test for both sides. It's going to be a test for Arsenal in their resolve in big games like this and in tough, hostile situations like this when you haven't got your naturally best 11 out there and you are missing a couple of key absentees. It's going to be a big test for Spurs to handle that pressure, because what I am seeing more and more as the days go on, the pressure is shifting more and more onto Spurs because of these injury concerns that obviously Arsenal are currently going through right now. It's going to be a big test of the strength and depth of Arsenal, big test of their resolve and their mentality. And as for Spurs, it's going to be a big test for them to obviously hit back at Arsenal, get some revenge, get some bragging rights, and of course, get their season back on track. They lost last time out to Newcastle. Hasn't exactly been the best of starts by Tottenham, to say the least. Mixture of inconsistency. But this could be a big opportunity. This could be a big kick on the backside that Spurs may need. Like I say, I want to say Arsenal. My head is saying Arsenal, but my gut is telling me draw. And I've gone with draw. I've gone with my gut rather than my head, and that could be stupid. But yeah, I've gone with my gut on this one. Like I say, I'm ready for a fascinating and feisty encounter between these two. Can't wait to watch it on Sunday. But yes, I'm calling it down the middle, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I just have a sneaky feeling that will be the case come Sunday afternoon when the full-time whistle blows. We shall see. We shall see how it goes. But look, those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of all of those things that I've talked about in this video? All the games that are coming up this weekend, all the thoughts, all the comments, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, that will make for a great interesting video from me and obviously from you as well. I want to hear from you. I want to know your thoughts, your comments, your predictions, mainly because, of course, this is a Premier League predictions video. And, of course, your opinions and everything else in between as well. Let me know down below in the comments section. Use and abuse that section, people. Talk to me on all the games that are coming up this weekend. Would love to know your predictions down below. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new and want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Premier League predictions video. And I'll see you and speak to you all again soon. Another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you again very, very soon.